Hello and welcome to the new video. If this is your first time here, my name is Hannah and today I will be reading the books from my self-destruct trolley. Apologies for the light. The light is shit in this room, so I kind of have my other little lights going on everywhere. I'm just trying to, lighten it up a little bit. So I hope you can see me. If not, I will be doing my best in editing this video for this video to actually look decent. Last year, I've picked up 25 books I want to read in 2025. These are the books that have been on my physical TBR for quite a long time, but also books that I haven't found myself reaching for, and I want to motivate myself to read these books because I don't want to just give them away or unhold them without even trying them. So I've managed to get 25 books on my trolley. These books are here. The top shelf is currently empty because that top shelf is for my current month TBR. Today is 31st of December 2024, and yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to start recording this video. This video is not going to be one of those when I'm recording over a period of 1 week. It's probably going to take me a longer time to record because, like I said, I'm not really inclined to read the books that are on my trolley here in my self-destruct trolley. So it's probably going to take me quite a long time. I'm thinking my plan is to read maybe 5 books per video, which will bring me to 5 episodes of this series. So that's that. That's the longest intro ever. I hope you had a good Christmas and I hope your new year 2025 started really well, started with a bang, a good bang. I actually am going into this new year already having read one of the books on my self-destruct trolley. And I've read this book in December, just before Christmas, because for some reason it showed up as an audiobook in my Audible app and it was free, and I didn't understand why, but I was like, I am not going to lose this opportunity to listen to this book. And I've actually listened to this, and the book that I'm talking about is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This is book 1 in a series. There's a series of 3 books. I have them all here, and there it is, all 3 of them. And I've read this book, I've listened to this book, and I actually enjoyed it. I think I rated it 3 stars. Let me just double check. But I have a feeling I rated it 3 stars because it wasn't horrible. I actually had fun reading this book. Right, so yeah, I did rate this book 3 stars. I said in my review on Goodreads, by the way, my Goodreads account is linked down below, so feel free to follow me or even to send me a friend request. That's absolutely fine. But I said in my review, it was a typical small town romance. Cute, no fireworks. I don't hate it. Not sure I'd waste my eyeballs on this series, so I guess when the books will come available to me as audio free, as I would not spend any credits or money on this, I will continue with the series. Yeah, so that was basically my review. Let me say I'm not a romance girly. I kind of have to be in a mood for romance. I feel like all the romance books are the same. I'm not gonna lie. They don't, I don't know. Yeah, they don't just do anything for me. But yeah, I have read this, Things We Never Got Over, rated it 3 stars, and it started, that's kind of like a 1 book ticked off from this trolley, which leaves me with another 24 books to read. Like I said, I will be reading those because it wasn't horrible. If it was horrible, I would DNF the series and then is over, the issue is over. But because I enjoyed book 1, I didn't hate it, I'm going to see if I can place holds in the library for these books, for audiobooks, or I don't know, we shall see. But if I don't manage to get audiobooks for this, then I will probably not be sad if I DNF the series by the end of the year. But I have until December 31st. I literally have one full year to read this. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Also, another book that I started from my self-destruct trolley is A Darker Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. And I kept hearing that this series is really, really good. And I have read one book by V. Schwab, and it was Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I love that book. I rated it 5 stars, and I think I picked this book on Vinted as part of the bundle. It was only like £1 I paid for it, so it wasn't expensive, and I was like, okay, let me try. But because I have been reading so many series, and I don't know, I kind of didn't want to start another series, and this book was just sitting on my bookshelf. So I thought, you know what, I'll put this on my self-destruct trolley because it will be easy for me to kind of like even self-destruct this book if I don't get to it. But I picked it up because an audiobook became available in my library. So I'm actually listening to this book. I am currently on... So if you imagine pages, page 266. So it's about 2/3 of the book that I have listened to already. And at this point, I'm enjoying what I'm reading. Feel free to skip if you have read this series and you don't want to listen about this anymore. But if you haven't, let me give you a quick intro. So in this book, this is happening in London, and London is kind of like multi-layered. There's a grey London when people are just human, they don't know about magic. Then there's red London when everything is kind of red, the soil is red and everything is red, and there is magic. And then there's white London, everything is white obviously, and in black London, London got destroyed. It was something to do with black magic or something like this. Anyway, so there's this guy, Kel, and he, as a boy, been taken into a royal family in Red London, and they kind of adopted him. I don't know why, it's not been said, but I think he was 5 years old when they adopted him, and so he grew up in the palace, and he's one of those Red London citizens, and he can do magic, and he kind of works like as a courier between different Londons, and he brings letters from one king to another and whatnot. And then one day he comes across this girl, Layla. And why do they start working together? Oh yes, because someone wants to frame him, or someone wants to capture him, and they give him a parcel, and in this parcel there's this powerful stone that's a source of like pure magic, and he manages to escape this kind of situation. But he comes across this girl, Lila or Delilah, who is a thief, and they kind of from there they're trying to discover what's going on, and they work together. And yeah, this is where I am in a book. It's interesting. 60% into a book. I'm enjoying it. At this point, I don't know if I would be buying more physical books of this series, but if they were available in a library, I would listen to them. Not sure about buying the books. So I still have a little bit left. There's about, I think in my audiobook, I have about 2 or maybe 3 hours left of listening. So maybe 150 pages here left. So unless something happens in the rest of this book that literally knocks my socks off, I will be thinking of buying book 2 and book 3 to keep on my shelves. But if not, I think as of now, I will still continue with the series, but purely via library, either audio or books. So this is where I am right now with this book. So I will report back to you when I finish. I've just finished reading A Darker Shade of Magic by V. Schwab, and it's a cool piece of fantasy. The premise of this book is really, really interesting. For me, it was a 3-star read. And when it finished, I was happy to finish the series on this book 1. I would not actively go and look for book 2 and book 3. And maybe if one day they come up in the library, but it's not something that I will actively go and look for and want to read the books and continue with the series. So I'm happy that I have experienced this book 1. It wasn't bad. It was, to me, it was okay. I think I like a little bit more of a drama in my books. So this kind of read like a young adult fantasy. I'm not sure if this is what it is, and I enjoy something a little bit military or political and stuff like that. So it's a good book. If you have them on your shelves, I would say read them. But yeah, I will not be continuing with the series. I am happy that I managed to take off another book from my self-destruct trolley. That makes it 2 with 23 to go. And since I have to pick another book to read, I actually picked this book up in my January TBR. I decided to read Mice by Gordon Rees. And I remember I have picked this book up in a charity shop, and I just read the synopsis and it kind of looked good, but I actually don't know what this book is about. So let me just quickly read the synopsis. Also, apologies, I haven't got any makeup on. I don't even know why I apologize. I just haven't got any makeup on. It is Sunday, it's my rest day. It's just 8:15 in the morning, but I got up about 5 because this week I'm doing early shift. So even on my rest days, I try to get up nice and early so that I don't struggle during the week. Yeah, so let's just read a quick synopsis, if I can find my glasses, that is. 16-year-old Shelley and her mother move to Honeysuckle Cottage in the middle of the countryside, fleeing the fears and anxieties and hoping to put behind the years of suffering at the hands of others. Shelley has endured terrible bullying from the girls who used to be her best friends, and her mother has been left reeling following a divorce from her selfish, demanding husband. For Shelley and her mother are mice, timid, nervous and obliging, and for a while in the cottage heaven the women flourish. But one night the fragile peace is shattered when Shelley wakes to hear a creak on the stairs. Someone has broken into the house. In the shocking, chilling events that follow, the women find themselves tested as never before. Shelley begins to wonder if she and her mother are not mice after all. I think it's class on Goodreads is classed as a thriller. I don't know if it's a I don't know if it's a young adult thriller or just a standard adult thriller. I guess we'll find out. I will get back to you when I'm probably about 50% in, unless I forget, like I did with V.E. Schwab. Right, so I told you I'll give you an update when I reach 50% of this book, and I am currently just past 50% mark. And OMG, I am so upset with myself and also so happy with myself that I created this self-destruct trolley and to read this book, because this book is so freaking good. So I'm 50% in, and I'm hoping that nothing will change as I read the second half of the book. It's a story of 2 women. There's a mom. Oh, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Never mind. So there's a mom and a daughter. Mom, she used to be a lawyer, and she used to work in this a really well-established company, and there she met her future husband, and she got married, and the husband convinced her, you need to stay at home, I want you to be stay-at-home mom, it doesn't look good on me, blah 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 blah. So she was like, yes, okay, no worries, and they had a child, Shelby. And 15 years later, the husband left the family behind. He found himself someone better, someone younger with bigger boobies. And they are going through the divorce, and mother is kind of just like, whatever. And then the girl has problems at school. She's been bullied, and it's really quite harsh. And one very drastic incident send her to a hospital and starts police investigation, which basically ends kind of like on a, we can't find evidence that the people that you are accusing of doing things, that they are the perpetrators. So it kind of like stops at nothing. After the divorce, the house is being sold, and both Mom and Shelby, they move to this cottage, like somewhere like far away from like towns and villages. It's literally just farms and woods and fields or whatever. So they're very quite isolated, and they kind of start their life in the cottage. They get used to being on their own, and it's just, everything is just starts to kind of like fall into, all the pieces start to fall in place. They started to be happy and everything, and then something happens. The house gets broken into at night, and there's a burglar in the house, and their lives are in danger. And the shit that happens after, I'm like, oh my god. I was literally doing my stuff, listening to this, because I'm listening to this as an audiobook, and I was like I was like, come on. I literally, it's so, I imagine if I was reading this, it would be one of those books that would be so hard to put down. I am loving this book so far. Very unexpected, because after reading the synopsis, I really didn't think that this is what will be going on in the book. And also, you know, I had such low expectations for this book, because I've had it for so long and I just wasn't reaching for it. So I'm very nicely surprised. I'm hoping that the pace and the plot and everything, you know, everything good and everything that I like about this book will stay for me on the same level for the second part of the book. But right now, this is great, and I'm so happy I'm reading it. Also, I have to say, I think I have to double check that, but the woman that reads this book, she sounds like Sophie Turner, and I'm like, I'm listening to this, and I can imagine this woman sitting there and reading this book to me. And yeah, absolutely having the best time ever with this book. And right now I'm just so happy that I created this self-destruct trolley, because I would have never read this book otherwise. So yay me. I'm so red on the face, but it's because in the evening I went out for a walk, and it's quite cold outside, and you know, I came home and the heating was on, and I kind of got like, you know, all flushed, and I'm actually heading to bed. But I wanted to tell you that I have just finished reading Mice by Gordon Rees, and so we all know that I'm reading this as part of my 25 books that will self-destruct at the end of 2025. And I think I did mention to you that I purchased this book sometime between 2019 and maybe 2021 or 2022. Anyway, so it's been sitting on my shelf since then, like a true TBR veteran. And I'm so glad I did this challenge, because I don't think I would ever pick this book up. And this book was surprisingly very good. I actually rated it 5 stars. This is my first 5-star read of 2025. And how funny that it's one of my self-destructing books. I was on the edge of my seat reading this book. This is such a fast-paced story with very well developed characters and also a very well developed plot. I absolutely loved the transformation that both of these women went through. Shelley and her mom, they both, you know, they were both forced to face certain things in life, certain challenges, but it only left them stronger and better. And seeing them becoming these, you know, strong women, for me it was just like a cherry on a cake, because I love that trope of a weak woman then becoming stronger, going through obstacles in life and just facing the challenges and coming out victorious at the end. So I absolutely love this book, and that will be going back on my shelves. It's a keeper. So now I think I feel so tired. I literally cannot speak anymore. I am going to get myself ready for bed, and I think I will pick another book tomorrow. Hi, welcome. 28th of January. It's been a while since I picked up a book for this series. I decided to pick it up. I'm going to start reading it today. And the book that I'm talking about is The Second Sister by Claire Kendall. The book's been on my shelves for absolute donkey's years now. And I actually don't know what this book is about. I think it's a thriller. Something to do with like two sisters. One of them works for the police, I think, and the other one was kidnapped or killed, or something happened to her, and basically the other sister that has been left behind is looking after the other sister's child, and also she made it her life's mission to find out what really happened to her sister Miranda. I'm gonna start this today. I have a few things to do, and yeah, hopefully it will be interesting. We shall see. I'll give it a good go and we'll see where it gets me. Wish me luck. I will update you when there is something to update you on. Maybe 50% mark. We'll see. I was just editing a video that I want to put out tomorrow, and I finished listening to The Second Sister. The verdict, 3 stars. It was okay. It was just kind of like your typical kind of thriller. There's a woman, she's part of the twins, and her twin sister disappeared 10 years prior, leaving behind a baby boy. So now this sister Ella is looking after the boy together with her parents, looking after the boy, but because it's kind of coming to like the 10th anniversary, some of the evidence is being released to the family, and while she's looking at the box and through the items in the box, she discovers certain things that lead her to certain people, and obviously she unravels the mystery, more or less. A bit predictable. I had a feeling that the villain would be the person I thought it would be pretty early on in a book, and I feel like a lot of authors do that. It's kind of like there's a name for it, when they introduce a character very early on in a book and it seems so innocent, and they kind of forget about this character for a while, and then boom, turns out this character was the bad guy. So it's K.L. Slater does that. I used to, last year, 2 years ago, I used to read K.L. Slater's book one after another. I love them. They were so like they was perfect. But what I've come to realize, this is the formula that K.L. Slater follows to the dot, basically. Introduces the character that is the villain in the story very early on, first, second chapter maybe. We just get a glimpse of that, and then at the end of the book turns out this was the bad person. So it was the same here. It's just fine. It's an okay book. It's not horrible. It is what it is. It's a 3-star. It's a 3-star book. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say about it. This is not going to be staying on my bookshelves. And now I have to pick another book, and I don't know what to read. Maybe it's a bit late now. It's 9 o'clock, so I don't think I'm gonna start reading anything now. But I'm thinking, I'm kind of tempted by the Andromeda strain, because one of you said to me that this book is so good. It was released, I think, in like 1969 or something like this. So it's an older book, and I think the author is passed as well. It's no longer with us. Michael Crichton. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. But yeah, so one of you lovely people recommended this book to me and said that you love that and I should definitely read it. So I think I will be reading Andromeda Strain now. I'm excited and I'm scared. So I picked up the Andromeda Strain yesterday. I started reading that in the evening, and so far I think it's the book is divided into like 5 sections, 5 days, because the story of this happens over 5 days. And so far I've read about 33 pages, which was day 1. And my worry about this book, because this book was first published in like 1969, I thought it's going to read old-fashioned, but so far so good. I'm actually, whatever pages I've read, I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed the writing style, I enjoyed the story, and I think it's set kind of in a way of a thriller movie. So far so good. I know it's only 30 pages or 30 few pages, but I'm actually enjoying this one. So hopefully I will be able to finish it sooner rather than later. I'm actually quite excited. So I'm sorry I can't remember your name, but whoever recommended this book to me, whoever said that I should read it, thank you very much. So far I'm enjoying it. My beautiful people, look at this. I'm reading this Andromeda Strain, and I've read about 2/3 of this book over a couple of days. I am loving this book so much. I was so scared to pick it up because of the year that it was published in. It was published in 1969, and I was worried that it's going to read a little bit old-fashioned, but it's not old-fashioned at all. It's actually, to me, I can play this book out like a movie in my head, and I love when books do that to me. It means that I gel with the writing style, and I'm actually loving this book. I know there's another book kind of in a series, the Andromeda Strain, the Andromeda Evolution, but I know it was written by someone else after this author passed away, and it kind of banked on a success, wanted to take advantage of the success of this book, I feel, and someone else wrote that book. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see how it ends. I then will decide if I want to read the Andromeda Evolution as well. But for now, I'm having such a good time. I don't know if I told you what this book is about, but I think I'm going to tell you when I actually finish this book. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what happened in the book and how I'm rating it. But so far so good. I'm hoping to finish it, maybe not tonight. I don't think I will have time tonight because I literally have to be in bed in like less than 3 hours, and I still have stuff to do. So yeah, but I'm having such a good time with this book. I love this book. I absolutely love this book. And I want more recommendation. I think you recommended me The Ghost Story by Peter Straub as well, so I have that on my radar as well. I think, did I order it today? Or maybe I looked at it. Yeah, I've got quite a credit now on my Vinted, so I'm like going through all these recommendations, and I'm like, I'm just buying books. I'm just buying books, you know. So yeah, I am so excited. I know it's not the best light, and also I should be fast asleep already, okay? But my face is red because I was using my gua sha, whatever. So this is why my face is so red. I had to record this clip because I have just finished reading The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton. I'm not sure how to pronounce his surname. What a book, okay? What a flipping book. Where do I start? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit of a plot. This action is happening in like late 60s, and the government is trying to, and NASA is doing these experiments. They're trying to scoop up whatever they can scoop up from like the orbit around the Earth. So they send these scoops, they're like cone-shaped scoops, and they collect things, and one of those scoops falls off the orbit and lands in this little town or little village in Arizona. And what happens is everybody in that village, the 50 people, the 48 people from that village, instantly die. And there's a specific team designated to work with some hazards from space that could be biological or chemical or something like this, and the government designed this facility underground where they could do all the experiments and whatnot. So But first, a couple of guys from the government is being sent to retrieve that scoop, that cone from that town, and as soon as they open the door, they die. So this causes the government to start this Project Wildfire. Project Wildfire is the one, is that team of 5 scientists that was supposed to work on any dangers from space, chemical, biological, and etc. etc. They get the people together and they take them into this underground lab, and they basically trying to find out what it is, how it works, how it kills, and how to prevent it. And oh my gosh, right? Okay, so I was so hesitant to start reading this book because I thought it was going to be really old-fashioned, and I wouldn't like the language, or it's not kind of like the modern novel, and I was worried that, you know, it's not going to be so interesting. But oh my gosh, I kid you not, this, if you are a bit of a nerd that likes sciences, you will love this book. This is a very fast-paced, I don't know if I should, this is a sci-fi, okay? But I feel like it has horror elements because it involves this like alien life form, and kind of like a small group of people that in their hands is, they literally hold a future of the entire world in their own hands. So the stakes are really high in this book. They are literally racing against the clock to find a solution and find a reason, and you know, they're trying to find how this thing works and everything. And it's just like, literally, this book will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's so fast-paced, it's so interesting, and I love books where they talk about viruses and biology. I'm a little bit of a science nerd. I'm not very scientific myself. I've never studied sciences, but I like the popular sciences, and I've read a few books about viruses and different bacteria, and I don't know, I just find them really, really interesting. And here, there's certain things are explained also in such a way that it's so easy to understand for a normal person like myself, who is not very scientific but enjoys sciences as well. And I think the author says even in the foreword that there are some facts here, and facts as in like certain reactions are being described, and there is no other way of describing it than, you know, in this way. But I found everything was done in a very interesting manner, and man, that book was just so good. It's, needless to say, it's a 5-star, and it's going to be staying on my shelves. And I have already ordered more books by this author because I am curious what else he produced. I know that he's done Jurassic Park and The Lost World and I think there's another good one that people are recommending called A Sphere, and also Prey and Next. And I think I've managed to find Prey and Next on Vinted. But yeah, definitely highly recommend this book. And once again, if you're the person that said to me, read this book, Hannah, I thank you very much. This is literally one of the, I know it's only 1 month into 2025, but it's going to be one of my favorite books of the year. I can already tell. In a way, it also reminded me of Project Hail Mary, because in Project Hail Mary we were dealing with this microorganism or whatever it was as well, and it's similar here. And now it kind of makes me wonder, did Andy Weir based a bit of his story on Andromeda Strain, because obviously this came out way before Project Hail Mary, and I kind of feel like he could have been inspired by this book. And I wouldn't blame anyone, because I think it's a really good book. I was worried that it's going to look, the front is tiny, and this is one of those little paperbacks, so I was worried that it's going to be really difficult to read, but it's not. And I absolutely love this book. I couldn't be happier that I read it. And now I'm going to sleep because I need to be up at 4 o'clock, so it's not good. Hi, so it is currently 3rd of February, and it took me a couple of months to read the 5 books that I've read in this episode. And I have read V.E. Schwab, Darker Shade of Magic. I also read Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. And then I read Gordon Rees' Mice, and then Second Sister by Claire Kendall. And then last but not least, I've read The Andromeda Strain. And you know, the Andromeda Strain, it was the most recent clips that you were seeing. Absolutely love that book. So happy I've read this. I actually ordered a few more books from this author to read. I have marked certain things. I have a little tag here with some interesting facts. It was actually a piece of information about amino acids because I kind of know what amino acids are, but the way he explained amino acids in this book is actually so cool. So I marked that, and I marked some other bits here as well in this book. So yeah, that was a fun read. This is going to stay on my shelves, and I think I'm going to read another 2 books by this author, and then I'm going to decide if I want to read the entire backlist by Michael Crichton. Let me see how you actually pronounce his name.
The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton. Performed by
Crichton. Okay, so I was so wrong. So this is Michael Crichton. Yeah, so I'll see how the other 2 books that I've ordered, how they are, and if I like them. I think Michael Crichton is going to be one of the authors that I would like to read the backlist of. So that is definitely staying on my shelf. And then I've read The Second Sister by Claire Kendall, and even though I have enjoyed this book, it was okay. It wasn't too bad. It's not something that I want to keep on my shelf. So that book is definitely going to be unhauled in a future. And then we have Mice by Gordon Rees. And again, even though it was a 5-star read, I don't think it's something I will reread in the future. This was again a thriller. It's about a mother and a daughter, and daughter is being bullied at school, and mother is going through a divorce, and they both move to this remote cottage. And one night there is a break-in, and that break-in changes their lives forever. And this was one of my very long-standing TBR veterans, together with this one actually. And yeah, I am actually happy that I read this book because I enjoyed it and it was good. I recommend it, but like I said, I think I will be unhauling this one because I probably won't read it in the future. And then I think one of the first books that I've read for this vlog was V.E. Schwab, A Darker Shade of Magic, and even though I enjoyed it, I didn't find it so fascinating and so intriguing that I would read more books in this series. It was okay, it was enjoyable. I don't think this is my type of a story. If I ever come across a free audiobook, probably from the library, I would give it a go. But it's not something that gripped me. So this will be unhauled as well. And then the last but not least, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Again, this is a book 1 in a trilogy, and this is a small town romance, and we follow this girl that comes to this town on the request of her sister. Turns out the sister steals her money, steals her shit, and leaves her child behind and runs away, leaving the other one with all the problems and all the people hating her because the other sister that used to live in this town is not a very nice person. A romance, it's not a genre that I usually read a lot. I have few romances on my bookshelves and I have read few romances as well, but this one I don't think, yeah. If I don't read another book, I won't be sad. Let's just leave it at that. I think I gave it 3 stars. I still have another 2 books that are in the series on my TBR Veterans trolley, on my self-destruct trolley. But honestly, right now, I feel like unhauling them. It's okay, but I don't think it's my style. So right now, I am quite happy to unhaul this book and the other 2 books in the series, but I am going to give them a chance. And again, if I come across an audiobook in a library, I will probably listen to this, but I wouldn't spend my credit on this series, and it's not a series that I would waste my eyeballs on. So overall, I think that was quite a successful reading experience. So I went from 25 books on my self-destruct trolley to 20 books that are left on there at the moment, and out of the ones that I have read, I have 1 to go back on my shelves and 4 that I will be unhauling in the future. That's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like it if you did, and let me know in the comments if you have any challenges this year, any reading challenges this year, and let me know if you've read any of these books. Also, this will be a part of a series, so please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. For now, I thank you for watching, and hopefully see you in episode 2.